Okay. Special Planning Commission meeting of Thursday, August 27, 2020 is called to order at 7 p.m. Please call the roll.
Robbins.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
Foley.
Here.
Wackenhall.
Here.
McCall.
Here. Resolutions. Record recording.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before we begin tonight, I want to reiterate some comments that have been made in the past few Planning Commission meetings by some members, I think the mayor and Mr. Coyne, our zoning council, regarding the land use zoning study that you are considering now, and really the difficulties that we're having as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. We began this process early in 2019 with every intention of proceeding in a thorough and complete manner with the goal of completing an initial preliminary review of the zoning codes by this commission prior to you reporting back to the council what your findings and observations were, your preliminary work. And the expectation was from the administration that the council would review your preliminary work, make some comments, revisions, etc., and then formally send it back to planning under our charter process for you to do further work and refinement. Have public meetings. This was all intended to be done in public meetings with when we started this in 2019 with public participation and attendance. And obviously we can't do that because of the current state of affairs with the COVID. You may or may not know that early in March, the mayor declared a state of emergency in the city, which meant that a number of things, some employees were laid off or furloughed. We started to operate at a bare minimum of staff, and some of those folks have assumed, probably all of them, have assumed additional duties. City Hall was closed and still remains closed for public business and access, except for folks can enter the front vestibule and get some service there, but they can't really have the run of City Hall. City Hall hours have been reduced. Revenues have diminished with no end in sight. And, when meetings are held and attendance is limited to 10 or less people, that really hampers our ability as this commission or even the council to operate efficiently because of the limits on public access. You also know that we had some new members appointed to the Planning Commission in the last few months so that we could, in preparation to get this process started. And we now have a full complement of members, and we're trying to work to help you become more informed on particularly this zoning land use study that we've engaged in with Chris Hopkins and has been presented to you already. And finally, Dan Neff, our city engineer, retired from city service, and now Dan Bender from Euthenix is our new city engineer. So he's got to get up to speed on what's going on with this process too. So the point of what I'm trying to make is this is an unprecedented time, and it's taking more time than we had hoped to move this process forward. So moving on to tonight, thank you for your patience and your indulgence. I will tell you that we had a series of 4 meetings scheduled August 25th, 27th, and then September 8th and 9th for land use zoning. And we canceled our meeting on Tuesday, as you know, for a couple of reasons. One was Ms. Hopkins had a medical issue, and that kind of preempted her from appearing. And we then decided yesterday, and we had a conference call with Mr. Coyne, Ms. Hopkins, the mayor, Dennis Patton, and I. And Ms. Hopkins would like to take the information that she has started to work on and information she's developed in the last month or two regarding the city and put pen to paper and then come back to first the administration with a proposed preliminary draft zoning plan and land use plan, which is more detailed than what you were provided initially in, I think it was May, her land use zoning study or report. So what we wanted to update you on is this. She's going to take one important facet of what she's embarking on is at the last meeting, I believe we gave you a map of 130th Street and Pearl Road, and there was a grid of businesses. She's trying to develop that into a more comprehensive report for you, which will actually include an overlay of the names of the businesses on occupied buildings. We'll know where the vacancies are, so you'll be better informed of what the uses are as you look at this. And the drawback at this point is she needs the input from the County Planning Commission, and I believe she now has that, where they will provide her the information that she needs so that she can do the work she intends to do. So the September 9th Planning Commission meeting is going to be canceled. Ms. Hopkins is going to meet with the administration on September the 16th and present her proposed preliminary draft of the zoning, a plan for Pearl Road and West, and the planning area, and then leave it with us so that the mayor, Mr. Patton, and whoever else the mayor would like to engage in reviewing this will take time to look at this proposed preliminary plan. Ms. Hopkins is going to be on vacation the week of September the 21st. So we are going to then reconvene with her on September the 29th to discuss with her the administration's review and perhaps revisions and suggestions. And then, based upon that review, Ms. Hopkins, the preliminary plan we're thinking of is, she will then develop a PowerPoint presentation, which she will present at a special planning commission meeting, which we would like to schedule on October the 14th. The PowerPoint presentation is kind of critical to this process, because we would intend to take that and put it on the city website in advance of October the 14th. And invite interested residents, business owners, other potential parties to submit comments to what that, and I keep calling it a proposed preliminary draft. That's what it's going to be. There's nothing going to be finalized, okay? But submit comments via email, letter, or I think we're going to ask them to call Mr. Patton so that we have public input, and then we can, on October 14th, have Ms. Hopkins come in, review that plan with you. We can consider these comments, because now I guess I would say your work's going to begin. Up to this point, we've kind of had general concepts. We've had Ms. Hopkins come in a few times and speak. And this looks like a better plan where it's going to provide you with a more efficient use of your time and kind of hone in on what the issues are for you to look at. And then you make your decisions and recommendations back to the council at the appropriate time. So if we need, and I would guess we're going to need additional meetings after October 14th, but we would like to move this along, obviously, as quickly as we can, but make sure that we're as comprehensive and complete in the analysis, and we take into account, the needs of the city as well as the needs of, the end users. So with that, Mayor, I don't know if you have any other comments you'd like to make, or any of the three of us here will take any of your questions.
One comment I'd like to do is you did an excellent job on the bullet points, Mr. Picorni. I'd just like to emphasize a few of your points. One, though, is my appreciation for your commitment to this planning commission. This is going to be a time-consuming process, and it's taken us a little bit longer than anticipated to get it rolling. But as Mr. Picorni pointed out, when we make the presentation with Chris Hopkins and Mr. Coyne make the presentation, the PowerPoint, we want it to be as precise and concise as possible. Everything else I think that Mike has said, we've given you the time frame. We're willing to work with you. It's important that we do, once we get the process started, that I don't want to say that we fast track it, but we would like to get it completed sooner than later. And we look forward to your input. Any questions or comments in between meetings or anything like that, anything that we can do to help the meeting be prepared or have materials prepared for you that you might need, we're a phone call away. But most of all, I really appreciate your commitment to this commission. This is going to have an impact on the community of Parma Heights for many years to come. Thank you. Dennis, anything or any questions then?
As they come forward to let us know. That's why I reiterated for this particular issue that we will have no more special planning commission meetings for that until October. But the other meetings, as scheduled, if she did something, will go on.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Patton just made an important observation. He suggested getting you the preliminary as soon as we get it into your hands then too, so that you'll have an opportunity to review it as quickly as possible. I think that's a good idea. So as soon as we get the preliminary draft, we'll make sure that that's forwarded to you.
Thank you. That is good. Anything else? No further business. I move to adjourn the meeting. Roll call?
Kelly,
Yes.
Savoli,
Yes.
Rockenwald,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
Browns.
Thursday, August 27, 2020 is adjourned at 7:15 p.m.